I don't know. I think I might be a little too sensitive. Bring me down a little bit. Not my headphones, my mic. My mic.
Mic level.
Just slightly down.
He's two. He's two. Yeah.
I have no snare.
Where's my snare? Yeah, this is better. I like this.
Do you guys hear him well? Not overpowering. Good?
No.
All right.
This reminds me of the David Stern show because they have the numbers on their
Oh, really?
phones. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I was telling him like
Howard Stern.
how they have to they have the producer cam too, like the fourth cam. So we're like debating how we should put our fourth cam.
Oh, okay.
And like whether it could be like him, like maybe it'll be his position or just
that'd be cool.
Right on him.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Angles are good. Everything is good. We're live. I can start this intro.
Everything's on record.
Once I get
batteries.
the thumbs up. Good. All right. Awesome. You're good.
I'm straight.
All right, guys. Welcome back to. Nope. Let me start that up again. Luckily, it's the first like 5 seconds, so we're good.
Line.
Take two.
Take two.
Got this.
Guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Volumn. Today, I'm joined by some very special guests. They are entrepreneurs, highly successful entrepreneurs, been featured on Shark Tank magazines, been on Rob Dyrdek's podcast, out of New Jersey, Eric and Ryan Cruz. So,
What's going on?
What's going on?
Thank you guys
sound
for having
effects
us,
in there.
man. We're so excited to be here.
The setup is immaculate. Super
Yes.
impressive.
Yes.
Just ready to kick this off.
yeah, you guys are talking about how this was like official.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very much so.
Studio
man.
looks
I mean,
great. You know, you guys got everything sharp.
The
Quality.
equipment.
Yeah.
I feel
This
like
is-
I'm filming a movie right now.
This is your first time here in the studio, right?
Yeah,
You
it is.
haven't. We haven't seen each other in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Since the
been-
last
yeah.
time we were cutting footage at your house on the second floor.
Damn, I
Yeah.
forgot
You still
about
even live
that.
there?
Oh wow.
No, I moved.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know.
Even then, I was still pretty close to here because
Yeah, yeah.
so the studio didn't move. That's like sort of center spot, and then same thing. I was like 10 minutes away from work and home.
Yeah.
I just moved a little bit north now, so
Yeah.
it's like but
No problem.
yeah, you were here, Ryan.
Yes,
we,
sir.
we did some stuff recently
Yes, we did.
with Matt. Matt actually did some of the
Yeah.
drone footage for that.
Yes.
So you're part of the production and then the final cut, man, and it came out great. Just watching you work on that thing, I was like mesmerized. It was like a second body part for you. So
Oh man, he does it all.
We met Matt at the last shoot.
You
Yeah.
you guys.
Is the drone guy?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
I didn't
Yeah.
even put it together until right now.
It was such a rush. It was a
Yeah.
rush because I know you guys were busy too. So I was
Yeah.
like, let you guys do your thing. Just wait to do mine.
But the drone footage came out awesome. So
That's good.
Yeah,
You know what's
that's
crazy?
fun.
It was a windy day. And I was just like, I gotta do this a couple of times just
Yeah.
because
Right.
But like, yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. You know.
yeah, no, it's great.
I,
man.
I told Matt, I was like, yo, these are very important clients. These are very important people.
Bro.
Don't fuck this up.
Man,
And I'm glad I did it.
I mean, constantly you guys coming in the clutch. Even that day, I think it was a couple days.
You hit me
before
up
the shoot.
literally like 2-3 days. But you know what? It's not like I've seen. It's funny because you tell people like, look, like obviously if you book with an advance, like you're good, right? But like I've seen some like record breaking shit. Like I've had people text me like 1 a.m. saying like, hey, like it's 6-7 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
is there any possibility you could show up? And it's just like. Maybe like I don't know, I don't want to say yes and then not because it's
Yeah, you're just always so clutch with people that they're like, oh, maybe Allan would be,
Yeah.
but obviously you.
It's
you
about
need
the
your-
experience for us.
exactly.
Honestly, like that's
Yeah.
sort of something that in the culture and the company that we're building, it's very much
Yeah.
like I want people to think and be able to have that where it's like, you know what, like it wouldn't hurt to ask. It
Yes.
like you guys are reliable. You guys have different people on staff, so it's like it's not going to be me, but it's
Yes.
going to be somebody, and
Yes.
so the likeliness of somebody being able to show up and do the shoot, it's just higher than.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You
guess
know.
I guess what I'm saying is like the hunger shows. So like people are like, if I need something, I know I can call Allan because
I'm gonna make it work. I'm
We're
gonna
on
figure it
call.
out.
We're on
I'm gonna make it
call.
work.
We're on call.
We're on call.
If it's not the
you
next
know?
day, it's pretty soon.
24/7,
after.
baby.
man.
24/7.
It's amazing, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Just
Yeah.
loving everything you guys have been doing.
Absolutely agree.
I-
And just to piggyback off of what you'd mentioned, like someone texting you at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's so much added pressure because you are literally their last resort.
Yeah.
Like
I
they're
can always
hitting
say
you
no.
up at 1 a.m. because they don't have really anybody else, and they're pretty sure that you're gonna show up.
It's happened though, like because it's you know what though, but it's I have a couple things to say on that. It's okay. So like let's say you hire somebody and then they back out for whatever reason. Could be personal or just could be like I've seen like people say like I've seen people back out just for the money.
Yes.
Like it's kind of like a scumbag move, but I've seen it happen where it's like you're paying whatever, not necessarily you guys, but the client is paying X, and somebody offers them double, and it's like, you know, at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do. So that's, you know, up to their ethical business practices and whatnot. But then that's when that play comes in, where it's like for us, we come and we save the day.
Yes.
We look so much better
Oh, yeah.
than if you just booked with us normally and just we committed to it and just came in. So it's like you're like, wow, like these guys killed it. These guys showed up last minute, delivered on time, like, and it was just like
Clutch.
Yeah. So it's
And
just
that's how you grow your business through referral.
Yeah.
that's how we've been growing, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's the best way.
Yeah, some people take it as, oh, you know, text me at 1 a.m. thinking I'm gonna, like, yeah, I get that part.
A little bit.
Obviously, there is that, you know,
Yeah.
like, yo, man, like, give me some consideration of my time and stuff. But at the same time, like he's saying, that person, if you do save the day like you guys usually do, like, they're gonna be like, man, you got to check out my friend. He's always there. He's always reliable. He does great work.
Yeah.
And that's how it grows, man. That's how you
You
guys
leave
got
a
to this
lasting
point.
impression on that,
Yeah.
and that's sort of what we if we can, I like to be able to do.
Yeah.
We always can't come in clutch, obviously, but you know, because that's also the other thing that I run into now. So it's crazy because when I met you guys, obviously it was a little bit more sort of freelance-ish, sort of like just myself, right? And then it was like, you know, you get to a point where it's like, okay, you're busy, so you start bringing on people. But even now, it's like with the people that we do have, like there are weekends or like months where it's like everybody's out doing something at different town, different establishment, different whatever, and then people will still like kind of like, you know, last minute be whatever. And then at that point, it's like I feel bad too because I'm like, yo, like honestly, like I wish, but I'm like, we have 7 different people out shooting right now. Like if you just told me a little bit earlier, like maybe I could have accommodated, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can't save everybody.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just if I can, great. If not,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, you it's like
Yeah, but
doing
your
a-
reputation will precede you because you have saved the day so many times.
Yeah.
You know, people,
Yeah.
you'll just like associated with someone who just comes in clutch.
Right.
Or the people that you can't save, like they're not gonna take it personally. You're just unable to.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You know.
You do what you can, you know.
Yeah.
That's just literally.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's it.
That was my situation when I had to go drone for you guys. You know?
Windy conditions, not
Yeah.
ideal for
Right.
drone, but hey, F it.
Made
You
it
know?
happen.
He did, man. Made it
So
work.
that video is live, right? You guys posted it. You guys
Yeah.
are running
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
It's
It's great.
for the people that don't know you guys, right? I don't even. Do you guys want to share your story? Should we talk about how we met? Because that's a crazy kind of story in
yeah,
itself.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump into exactly what we were doing, and then we can talk about how we met and like how we
Right.
got. You
Yeah.
know,
So
since
tell me
then.
about Moves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I know what it is, but it's kind of for the people, for the audience here who haven't seen the episode of Shark
Yes.
Tank, who haven't seen you guys online. Like, you know, it's footwear, it's innovation, it's one of a kind.
Thank you.
I own a pair. They're comfy as hell. Mine are kind of beat up, but like they're, you know. Tell me about it. You know, what was the inception of that? Why shoes? Why everything?
Yeah. So
Such a layered question.
yeah, I mean, let's just start out with the basics. Like, we're Moves Footwear. We created this convertible slip-on. The reason why I say it's convertible, it's like an indoor-outdoor shoe. It kind of looks like a sneaker, but it actually has a detachable outsole so that you can be comfortable in home in your house, and then when you want to leave for whatever reason, take out the trash, walk the dog, go to the corner store, you just kind of slide into your outsoles, pop down, and our dual sole technology kind of locks you in so that you're like you're out and about without any worry of either A, slipping out of these things, or B, like people noticing that you're in your house, your house shoes. So that was the concept. It all started when I was in school studying industrial design at NGIT. We were tasked to create a consumer product that would sell in the marketplace. I talked to Eric about the project. We both have an affinity for footwear. We both agreed that shoes was something that we can try to I guess, you know, work on. And instead of working on sneakers and, you know, performance shoes or style shoes, you
Very
know,
saturated market.
yeah,
as it was.
it was out there. So we were like, you know, nobody's paying attention to these slippers, man. Like, man,
Don't get any kind of love.
but everybody uses a good pair of slippers. Like, you know,
Right.
you need you want something comfy to slide in. You don't want to be, you know, in your socks outdoors. So a good pair of slippers is a go-to, and everyone's got a pair. But I was like, how can we make them better? How can we make the world's best slipper? So we started innovating and you know, sketching up, and finally we came down to this. We put all like sneaker materials on it, a real cool, sleek design, and then we added these outsoles because we thought, if you got to go outside for a quick trip, you don't want to have to remove your shoes, go change, lace up some shoes.
I thought you were gonna go into the Shark Tank pitch.
Yeah,
That's part of it. I'm like, I should be ready now.
shoes, bro. Yeah,
It's like Eric's shoes, bro.
yeah, we gotta get into that story too. Yeah, we gotta get into that story. But yeah, so that's what we did, and we had the concept of the slipper with the outsole. So, I went to present this thing. I'm like, we got one, bro. I was like, we're going to ace this. We got a real business. Like, in my mind, I'm on, I have this business like already built in my head.
Right.
And Eric's like, you know what? I'm into it too. Like, I support it so much, and he always supports, and it's all love. So
at that point, like, I was so invested in developing the product. Like,
Right.
I wanted to be there for the presentation.
Yeah.
So I call out of work, and I just like sat in the classroom. I still look like a college student. So
And this is a college school project.
Yeah,
Like, this is like
my
that's-
senior thesis, like
Right.
capstone. Like, this is it. Like, it's
wow.
all riding on this, and I present this thinking I'm gonna get a glowing review
Smash
from
it,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, crush it. It was an absolute flop. People were like, "What is this?" Like,
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it, man. They were like,
Yeah.
I made it small because I had to make it in a 3D printer that was, available to me on the campus.
Right.
So I made it like tiny. They're like, "Are those baby shoes? Like, what's?" I'm like, "No, man." And then
So you're like a little thing that you presented.
it was like, it was
the
too
idea
size
was
of-
like size of your
Yeah.
hand. Like,
Okay.
probably
All
like-
right.
5 inches, to be exact. And the professor's like, I don't really see a market for this. So, we could have been like, oh man, like we swung, we missed, like that's
I mean,
over.
we were hurt though.
I mean,
in the
yeah,
moment.
of course, you got
Let's
to,
not minimize the situation. Like, we were
Yeah.
definitely took a step back. Like, whoa.
yeah,
Because you like kind of glorify in your own way like professors because they have wisdom and they're older and they have more
Right. You see them as
experience.
authority.
Yeah,
so-
And especially when you're not necessarily like an entrepreneur just yet, or
Yeah.
you're just kind of growing up and
Aspiring.
you're like, okay, like just testing the waters.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shut down.
Yeah.
You're like,
whoa, maybe.
damn.
The
Is
first
he
big,
right?
that was the first
You know?
big no, Like,
Yeah.
we didn't, we had no idea there was a lot more no's to come,
Right.
but we were just kept swinging until
Yeah.
we got there. Yes. So that's when we just started to say, that hurt. This is, but we kept the faith. We were like, we can actually.
So what made you keep going though, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you get told no, and there's people who get told no, and then obviously it's like that's it, it's over. Like then you move on to the next thing, or
I mean,
maybe you don't come up with another idea. But what?
honestly, it's for us, it's really been like people along the journey, like key people that came along at the right time, at the right place to say,
crazy.
hey guys, keep going. Like you guys have something here,
Right.
and people that we really respected, had love for, and genuinely cared about us. And one of the gentlemen, I always like to shout them out because they were such an integral part of the story. But Rob G-Man,
Oh yeah,
what was his full name? Robert what?
Guzman or something. I
Yeah,
don't
but
remember.
he was awesome. He was like, because he
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had done some patent work, and he knew about litigation. He was like, "You guys can patent this thing," and he's made his own products and stuff. And then Daymond was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I can introduce you to some investors." He was big in the boxing world. He knew a lot of people, high wealth individuals, and we're like, "Okay, cool." So we got to go get a patent, make this thing happen, and then get some investors to actually birth this
Yeah.
brand.
But
so
before that, even speaking on the Daymond point, he brought us to Daymond John's
Yeah.
agency
Yeah.
5 years prior to our appearance on Shark Tank. So
Yeah.
we were
Oh, wow.
we were in Daymond John's boardroom. We
Yeah.
were talking with his right hand man,
Yeah.
Willie Esco.
Wh-
Shout out.
yeah, shout out Willie.
Like he gave us some hard critiques, but we used it constructively, and we had to like take that, internalize it, and figure out, okay, let's take a step back, let's see it from all angles because he's well established in this industry, so we have to like kind of put some onus on what he's saying because
Definitely.
we're really young in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but like being there, it started like for me personally, I still remember like it made it like this dream become reality in a way.
Right.
Because like I'm like, whoa, I'm here. I'm in New York. Like
Yeah.
I'm in the Big Apple.
It's
I'm-
validation.
Yeah, I'm in Daymond John's war room. Like
Yeah.
we got a guy that used to work with Foot Action as a buyer, and he
Yep.
sees the promise. Or like, wow, like, okay, there's an onus here and a reason for us to continue this
Journey.
journey. Yeah, because entrepreneurship in a lot of ways is like like yelling into an abyss.
Yeah.
Like no one's there, no one hears you, but if you put in the work, long enough, like something will come out of it. But while you're in it, you don't even know you're in it.
Yeah.
you don't even know how long you're gonna be there for.
No, because it's not promised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. It's
You know?
very uncertain. It's very
Everything about entrepreneurship is uncertain.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no certainty, and I think that's like kind of a fallacy when young kids, aspiring entrepreneurs in college, particularly like now, because social media has kind of like conditioned them to think that entrepreneurship is easy and
Right. It
you know,
looks
there's a-
attractive. It's cool.
It's a huge glow up.
Yeah.
You know? But like
everybody
there's-
wants to like start up something, and
Yeah.
and I mean honestly, all power to you. Please do like
Yeah,
try it, you
yes.
know. But just
the world
understand.
needs more small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know, like, and now like from a customer standpoint, I think all of us generally want to support small business.
Yeah.
Not wear big.
There is a
labels.
shift in that happening.
Yeah, you
I
know,
see it.
It takes time, but there is certainly, like to your point, there is a shift here.
Yep.
So like, you know, I think I don't want to get too off course.
No, I
but
was just gonna say that
yeah.
those are the first
Couple people that like.
couple people that kept us going and kept us, you know,
From that
in the
college
early
experience.
stage. Yeah, from that
Yeah.
college experience.
What
and
did you
got
get
us
as a
back up.
grade, by the way?
A C.
You got C.
Yeah. But C's,
no plus?
No C plus.
No,
Just
straight
straight
up
up
C.
C.
Straight up C. I'm
Damn.
like, all right, well, I passed. I'm out of here. See ya.
Do you still have that like I don't know like the paperwork or project or grade somewhere?
Yeah, I got my, you know, I'll probably get my transcript.
You have a
going,
picture
but-
or something of that?
I
Like,
mean,
that's-
yeah. What's pictured in my mind is that guy is the professor. Like, you know, shout out to the other professors though, like Professor Alcala. Those guys, they always believe in me. They still have me come back to the school and speak to the kids and stuff, and they always like showed support. but-
NGIT, right?
NGIT, yeah.
I mean, you were just there recently.
I was just there recently, yeah.
nice.
So, no knock on them. It's just, you know, particular people that professor in particular that didn't think it was the market for it, but we chose to keep going, and we're glad we did.
You're here now.
We're here now, man.
Yep.
Still fighting.
Still fighting.
So it don't end. The fight doesn't stop. You
No,
know,
no.
just-
That's the thing too, right? It's like you might get some success, big success, little success, some money or whatever, but like you said, it's like okay, that was today, and then that becomes yesterday, and then but tomorrow is not guaranteed. So you're in that constant like cycle of just you continuously kind of not proving yourself or maybe proving yourself, but just continuously like we're making this happen. Like it's
Yeah.
working. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like we're not going anywhere. Like you're just like you
Gotta
know,
grind it out.
And then it's like those years come in, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, and then that's people start looking at that like, whoa, like 10, 20 years of business. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's not even they don't even question it anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, this journey for us started what, like 6 years ago? You know?
Yeah.
Time.
Longer since the concept was born, but when the business actually started like becoming real was
Yeah,
about
we're going on our 5th year, but then we dedicated 2 years to
But prior to that, to
yeah,
like-
research and development.
Yeah.
Like we had to go to China twice, to look at factories,
Yep.
look at
Wild.
fabric, textiles.
That's when I came into the picture.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
dude,
I
that's been that
super
long.
early, man.
Yeah.
Since samples, since like the trip to China.
you
all that.
had just gotten back from China when I met you.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
I don't-
first time?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know if it was the first or second
So
time.
how did we meet? Tell people.
I want to hear this.
this is honestly one of my favorite stories, and the reason why is because like the people who know me or the people that are around me, like they see all the work that we do. We work with many different clients, different industries, and you know, it's you know some of them are just they're not as interesting. Like you know somebody calling you, like that's not really a story. Yeah, for sure. You know we could do it. It's this
Yeah.
much, whatever. You show
Yeah.
up, but like
Yeah.
this, it's to me. And then not only that, but it's like you meet people in interesting ways in life, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, I feel like when those two entities are still in existence and just, you know, they're still doing well, like thriving, succeeding, you know, and then it's like,
At the same timing, man.
Right.
You were getting your start. We were getting our
right.
start at the
That's
same
yeah,
time.
yeah. So
Yep.
for those who don't know, when I first started this business, I was the same kind of concept as you. I was junior, senior year of college. I was graduating. I had no money. I had like just miscellaneous jobs that I was doing. I worked at a pizzeria, which was really my last job that I kind of just didn't get fired from. It was
You walked away from.
no. The place went out of business. Yo, shout out to Chris though. I love that place. That was such a great job. That was a great place. I love food. I love pizza, and like you know,
I mean, who doesn't?
yeah,
honestly?
that's true. But so no, I was there, and it was like, it was okay. Like as far as like the money you made. So then, it wasn't enough because it's like I want to have money to invest. I want to be able to pay all my bills, and as I'm graduating, more and more responsibilities, expenses kind of come up in life, and so I had a friend who was driving Uber at the time. Shout out to Sonny. and he was making money, and he was just kind of like working when he wanted, how he wanted it. And to me, that was similar to that like entrepreneurship lifestyle where it's like, okay, like I get to create my own hours and I get to kind of come and go whenever I please. And I just thought in my head, like, this is the perfect vehicle, like literally. So I remember, and I don't think I've ever told this story like publicly to anybody, just like my friends know this, like my family. Like I set a goal. I was like, okay, here's going to be my strategy. Like there was a game plan before there was a business game plan, but I had a business game plan to get into the business game plan.
Yeah.
Like I was that hungry.
Like a personal game plan.
Right. So for me, it was like, okay, I need capital. I need money, right? In the last episode, I shared that like I took out money from college. I took out a loan. I took out like a couple $1,000s to like basically fund some of this equipment.
Love it.
But then it was like, okay, I still need to pay that back. So I was like, how do I make money now versus like, you know, trying to build a clientele and just business. So I was like, I need to get out there and create networks and meet people, right? Kind of like when we were talking, when you guys got here, like just some of the past business ventures I had been in. I had a little bit of a network because I had met people and they were like-minded individuals. So they were kind of about this lifestyle, but they lived across kind of the country or outside the US. So like, it didn't really help me. Like, okay, like, you know, unless they're flying me out, like, you know, we're not going to make reoccurring money. So for me, it was like, okay, I got a car, bought a car and brand new. So I was like, I set a goal. I was like, okay, I'm going to drive this thing until it hits about 100,000 miles because after 100,000 miles, then the value goes down and then you're going to have to put money into it and repair it, whatever. So I was like, if I can't do it by 100,000 miles, then I'm going to have to go get another job or something. So I set a goal where I was like, okay, I'm going to drive and I'm going to Uber the shit out of this car. And I was, you know, looking at how much money you can make. And so I was like, okay, I have to make this much money to pay off like the car payment. Then I have to make this much money to pay the insurance for this car payment. Then the rest that I make will be actual profits that then I can fund the business and the lifestyle that I want to live. Not to mention I won't be tied down to traditional work hours. So it's not like I have to go in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 4 to 9 or 8 to 4 or whatever. I can still kind of wake up whenever I need to. I can go to sleep whenever I need to. I can move stuff around. So, you know, if somebody hires me and says, hey, are you available Friday at whatever time, I could say yes, and then I could just plan out my day and say, okay, I'm gonna go to work after or before. So I was going to work before I went to work, or I was going to work after I went to work. Also, that this could kind of become that priority where it's like, okay, like I have the most amount of time freedom to be able to do this. Because in my head, again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be limited if I have to work 3, 4, 5 days out of the week, and then people start hiring me, and then I have to say like, no, I can't do it.
Yes.
Because then it's like, okay, what's the alternative? I don't work that job, but then I don't make any money. So then I was like, okay, it has to be Uber. And so I was just grinding out. Like I remember like I was just working nights because that, you know, when people go out, have parties, weekends and all that stuff.
You sacrificed.
Yeah. I just like, I let it all go. I was like,
hard.
nothing matters to me other than just building
hard.
this. And but to take it further, I was like, okay, not only is this going to like be the solution for me to make money and be able to like just live as like an early 20-year-old, but secondly, it's going to be a great opportunity for me to network because now I'm going to be meeting, you know, like 10 times the more amount of people that I would on a normal basis. You work a regular job, you know, you're a cashier at something like, you know, I'm not going to be trying to sell you on services as the register person, right? And if I have another sort of kind of corporate America job, you're in the same coworker space every single day. So that's never changing. But in this, I'm going to meet people all walks of life at all different cities and all different towns. And my idea was like, okay, like we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna talk to the person, whatever. Like I'm not gonna push it. Like I'm not gonna be creepy, but like I'm
friends with everybody.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to just, you know, like get cool with the client, hand him my business card. Here you go.
I thought this was organic. This is all premeditated.
He already knew you before.
No, but you thought it was organic. You felt it to be organic,
bro. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not a talker. Like I don't even like to like, you know, if someone's giving me a ride, I'm just staring at the window like. Headphones on, whatever. I don't. Yeah.
You just
Allan starts chatting. I'm like, oh, here we go. Talkative Uber driver.
This is my nightmare.
He's like, fuck this guy, bro. I'm just trying to get to the barbecue.
Yeah. Immediately good vibes, and then go ahead.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm always like, how do I establish common ground with people? How do I get this person to like me? Yeah. How do you become attractive, a person of value? And so you get in the car, and for me, it's like, again, it's, you know, if I do 10 rides, that's 10 new people that I meet that day. And then if you do that, you know, 5 times a week, dude, I just met 50 people that week. And then if I do that for 4 weeks in a month, dude, I'm meeting 200 plus people.
You're like business speed dating.
Yeah.
That's what I never thought of it like that.
No. So for me, it was like, okay, like, because this isn't a permanent thing. I'm not going to be an Uber driver the rest of my life. And I had that limit of 100,000 miles. And so I was like, okay, met Ryan, gave him a business card, we chopped it up, and it's like that fine line though of like you don't want to be too pushy because then you kill the sale, but at the same time you don't want to not lead it enough where it's not like intriguing. And so I think we hit it off at the right vibe. You were telling me about the shoe. You were telling me about China.
Got me talking, man.
And so he's telling me all about moves and all this stuff. And then from there, I remember we had scheduled something to basically like meet at your guys' place, which is I guess the place before you guys are now, right? You guys when you guys were in
the EZR headquarters.
Oh, Belleville.
Yeah, when you guys were at the headquarters in Belleville.
Yeah.
And surely enough, like next week we popped up and it's like you gave me the whole rundown of the company, the shoes, the production, whatever. And I was like, for sure, like I can definitely make videos to help you guys and promote this, market it.
Yeah.
At the time, you guys were trying to get into Atlantic City. I remember you guys made.
My God,
That's what I was gonna bring up too, because
Hospitality.
that's the first thing I remember working together on. Like, we were set. We were like, all right, man, we're gonna go. We're gonna make shoes that. Yeah, we're gonna make our shoes, but we're gonna make some money on the side by making shoes for hotels.
Right.
A lot of brands did pop up with these type of waterproof shoes and all this slip resistant.
Yep.
So I remember us doing a version of the shoe just for that.
Yeah.
We went to I think it was
Dylan.
Devs.
Yep.
Devs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We went to, we needed a pool.
Yeah,
We went
and
to
it
the
was
pool.
raining.
It was raining that day.
It was
oh
raining.
my God,
Yeah.
what are
You
these
know
chances?
that even from the
But
beginning, it's
even
always
those
been like
things,
that.
we made it work. It was just like about
It's always been like that. I feel like it's always gonna be like that. Where there's always stuff that come up. You just always have to be willing to overcome it, and get around it somehow. Obstacles are gonna pop up at every stage of the path. So
yeah.
but yeah, that was the
That's
first
how we
project.
met, and then that's how then I met you guys,
Yeah.
and then that whole thing, and to wrap up that story, dude, I surely enough, I remember I think I hit like 92,000 miles or like 97,000 miles on that car, and I remember that month I was like full time, like I looked at my bank and I was like, holy shit, like that month like I did not drive, and then it was like month 2, like same thing, like I was making enough money now then through videography and media where it was like, all right, great, like. This works
part of the
because
plan.
maybe 30 days out, like this probably I would have had to get a job or something.
That's right. Man, that's
so
right. But that's the thing. That's key.
I bet
You
on myself.
You did.
I bet I just
You set, but the important thing too is you set that plan. A lot of these people that starting out, they're just like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this and then this is gonna happen, but like they never sat down and made an actual execution plan to follow something.
Because it's easy to feel dejected after like your dream. You haven't reached your dream in a lot amount of time.
Right.
But you really didn't like map it out so that you can encourage yourself mentally to keep pushing through because you're on track.
Yep.
If you set a long-term goal that's like unrealistic.
someday,
Yeah, you may not ever hit it and then you'll end up quitting.
Yeah.
But if there's like goals within the long-term goal that are reasonable and embedded in realism than reality, you can encourage yourself through the hard times because they're inevitable.
something new that I practice nowadays is like obviously goal setting, right? I think that's something everybody talks about, but I forget who said it, and it was like focus on your habits. So it's like instead of saying like, okay, like it's the new year, so we talk about like, let's say working out. It's like I want to lose this much weight or I want to gain muscle or whatever, right? You can set that goal and say, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to put on 20 pounds, but that's all that means. Even if you put a deadline to it, a date, then it becomes a goal, not a dream, because now it's like, okay, I want to do it by March, by June or whatever. However, it's still not going to happen just because you said I want to do it by June. It's going to happen with your daily habits and your daily actions. So if you focus on your daily habits and say, okay, I want to do this, but I'm going to get there by, going to the gym 30 minutes a day for the first week, and then 45, and then an hour or whatever. And then so you just work on your daily habits of like, this is all I need to do today, and it's going to get me to that place. And it breaks it down a little bit easier because, it's for some people, obviously it's intimidating or it's scary to hit certain goals where you're like, dude, how are we going to even get there one day, right? But
habits and consistency.
Habits will create action, which will create discipline, which will create that just longevity of getting to that place or whatever you're trying to achieve or whatever.
definitely, man.
Yeah, the same could be said for entrepreneurship too. You have to be dedicated and committed and able to sacrifice and willing to sacrifice, and ultimately you'll achieve a goal, but like that doesn't come overnight.
Right.
You have to be willing to endure the pain.
And that's where Matt is kind of right now on the journey.
I'm getting there.
Welcome.
Matt's, I think, I don't know, maybe like we know your story, but like just he's sacrificing things right now.
Yeah.
He's on his way. He's doing well. Obviously, we're working together, but it hasn't, you know.
I try to put myself in the right environment as far as like I know what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and if I know like perhaps you're good at something else, I'm like, all right, let me see let me see how maybe I can get better that way. And that's that's I guess like with Andy, with him, like you guys, again, I just I guess slowly me and you guys, like whatever.
Yeah.
But like with him is like, if I know if I'm putting myself in the right environment, and whether that's just time, like or helping out, like I'm learning something, and then I'm still progressing, I guess, as a person.
Right.
So I guess like I seen what Allan's done. I tell him like everything you've done, like that's dope, and like I respect that, you know. Like, he's only a year younger than me, and whatnot. But it's still like I respect. You know, you gotta show respect where like you know, what's given. You know.
Yep, for sure.
So that's what I try to do with I started putting my time here, and like we're doing this is like, all right, this is a new venture for us as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's see what we could do with this. You know, maybe it, you know, something even greater than what you're already doing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, helps you, and then it helps me, and it helps all of us. It's like, let's do that.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
I think you're in the right place, man. You got to
Yeah.
run Allan, man. You just level up. Just level up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. Like, man, like, you know, speaking about leveling up, man, and production with you, man, it's like when we first started, we're throwing shit against the wall, man. Like we're like, man, you know, I bring the shoes, I bring some outfits. I'm like, okay, put this outfit on, this person, those shoes, and take a cool few pictures and do this, take some video. And Allan's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You know,
We didn't know any better.
At the beginning, that's what we both thought how it went down. Put some lights up, cool. But then as
We weren't even using lights.
yeah. It was like, no, you know what it was? It was the light on the camera or like the mic on the camera.
Just budget friendly things.
Budget
you know,
friendly, man.
it's-
You know, but you got to get started.
Resourcefulness is really
Yeah.
something I
That's it.
attribute to
Yeah.
like just success is just like you have to make it work with what you have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because people paint the ideas of like, well, you know, if I had this, like I could be doing that. Like that's great, but that's not the scenario. This is your scenario. So
Exactly.
what are you gonna do with that?
Get started.
Like-
Yep, pull out the iPhone, put some, you know, you get it going, man, because eventually, you know, you'll get to where you want to go, but you have to get started. So
Now
Isn't the motto like right up here? It's
dreams way more than you like. Dreams way more. I love that post. Everybody that comes through here actually like it. You know, it's.
it's impactful if you're living the life.
yeah.
I get yeah.
You can look at that like, oh, that's a cool image, but it doesn't really like.
Yeah, someone's
resonate.
just like,
yeah,
sure.
But if you're living this
Go back to
lifestyle,
my
you're
daily
like,
job.
yeah,
No,
We-
you
we
know what
joke
my motto
around.
is daydreams over day jobs. I preach that all day long because
man.
it's just, you know, just like you guys, like I'm super grateful and blessed to, you know, just really just do what I love, right? Just wake up and just, it's like, all right, like we're going to do this today or we're just not, you know, obviously it's different, you know, like you said, it's just like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's just, you know.
yeah. Being in control and command of your time and how it's spent is like the American dream.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I think we're all entrepreneurs in a way, just because we can dictate what we want to do when we want to do it, like have a complete liberty to just live our life without like, you know, commitments to have to go into corporate America or work every day. Like that's not the dream. That's not. What
So
I like.
when Ryan was doing the school project, right? Where were you at? Like where were like you were
I
because
was
you
in
guys are
Corcoran.
not that apart from each other in age.
No, a year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years, like with school and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Were you graduated by then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
So were you in corporate America by then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to grad school at that point, and I was working for Mercedes-Benz in their public relations department.
Okay. That's why you're so good at the PR things, bro.
Yeah,
You guys are a great team, dude.
Yeah.
Because like it's like I've always obviously dealt with Ryan as far as on the content creation side, and then I would always hear the stories, and it's just like, dude, like you're just. I mean, you know, vicariously just from like outside looking in, I was like, bro, like they're just raising money. This guy's just setting up meetings. Like it's just to me, I was like, this is so fucking cool. Like, how are you meeting some of these people? How are you, you know, it's you make it look easy is what I'm saying. Like it looks just like it's like, all right, you're just jumping from stone to stone to stone and you just cross that river. And I was like, wow, like that's just again, I'm sure it wasn't like that, but it's
Just hopping away.
yeah, because it was like this year we're doing this month we're doing that.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on the Rob Dyrdek podcast.
Yes.
And you know, same thing. You guys are what I love is like you guys operate like I don't know what the word is because I don't want to say like other people aren't professional, but it's like, you know, it's like, you know, like you just like there's a business plan and there's all these other like little details and words and terminology and just things that people don't even think about or know about and like And you know that, like,
Yeah,
you got that shit down pat. Like, there's a folder somewhere in your house, in like a
It's all up here.
no folder.
I mean, no, there is.
It's on a
Like,
Google Doc.
yeah, I mean, I certainly write like, you know, initiative and goals that we want to hit.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, I'm pragmatic in my approach. Like if I'm going to approach somebody,
Yeah.
I don't want to like inundate them with information they don't need.
Right.
Like if you're going to email for any advice, like people that are like cold emailing, you want to like make a very easy to read subject line and not make it more than like 5 sentences.
Yeah.
Because like they're professionals you're hitting up and they
Yeah.
don't want to like allocate too much time and energy.
Yep.
So if you like, you know, give like a warm introduction and then be direct in what you need, but be gracious, like it's hard to say no to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of been like my own
Your approach.
my approach like throughout my young career. And I mean, I'm 34, so like, you know, I've been blessed to have great corporate experiences I can like leverage and I can like recite from, just because like I've been in like the corporate
Situations
America.
where like it called
Yeah.
for it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I get, you know, the approach and I understand, you know, like a lot of the things that like may go over Ryan's head in terms of like you
Yeah.
know, what I'm doing.
But that's why you guys
independently,
compliment each other well
yeah.
too, because
Big time.
we've been on set and, you know, there's things where like, you know, I know
yeah,
I know
man.
you're like, yo, just Ryan, like,
Yeah.
I know you're good at that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
here for support.
Yeah, it's like I'm here. You
I'll
know,
hold the light.
whatever
want me
you
to-
and you have. I remember.
I'll
Yeah,
do whatever you
we've
need
done
me to do.
stuff. Yeah.
That's why we really teamed up, man. Because I was, you know, we both thought, hey, man, like you have a skill set that I don't have, but together we can, you know, really do some things. When I saw how good he was with, you know, the business side and speaking to people and networking and all this, I'm like, man, like that could be great. And he was like, oh, Ryan's pretty creative. This idea is pretty good. Like, and we're like, should we, you know, make a run at this?
Yeah.
Like, why not, man?
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
It was a ballsy decision to do too.
Yeah,
because
we
at that
quit our
point, like,
jobs. We quit our
Yeah.
jobs. We were like, you know what? We're gonna do this thing full time. We're gonna go in and, you know, we got a
So
little
like
office space.
2018, it was like that was the year, right? Where it was like LLC papers, like just or like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, because you have the physical location.
Yeah.
You guys were doing more stuff other than just shoes too, though. You guys had the whole Easy R business.
Yeah, but it wasn't like where it was like, okay, we're gonna do shoes, so like, you know, we're gonna just like order some shoes. It was like we have to develop this thing, so that took years before.
You
that.
guys are innovating. Like you guys,
Yeah.
like Matt's a big sneakerhead, so it's like he could probably talk about like shoes. 'Cause dude, I don't know. I just wear like
Yeah.
I have like
And
3
there.
shoes at my house,
Yeah.
maybe 5, you know, and it's just like I have
they're
dress
all Air
shoes.
Force Ones.
I probably have 3 Air Force Ones at my house.
3 out of the 5.
I have like really nice white ones that just have no creases that I wear, and then I have ones that are like more like if I'm gonna go on a shoot, you know, for some of the real estate stuff, I'm stepping on grass and outside air, so I'm like I'm whatever these are whatever. I have the Move shoes where easy access in and out or whatever, and then like you know like a pair of slippers and some like I have a couple shoes, but I'm not like. I have 37 shoes in my closet for every day of the week for all different colors. I think that's cool.
I used to be that guy.
It's cool. It's cool. It's just it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah.
But you guys are literally reinventing. Just like this is. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Like
and that's what took so long, you know, and that's why
That's hard.
Yes, you know,
Plus, we had no idea how to do it.
that's what I'm saying.
bringing it to
To
life.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before the LLC and the actual order of getting the shoes and stuff, like there was years before that we were like, okay, let's do this thing. Okay, now how do we do it? How do we make shoes? Never mind the kind of shoes that we want. You know, finding the right connections, going overseas and doing all that. It took a long time because a lot of people told us at the beginning,
Right.
it's impossible. Like this doesn't happen. This doesn't work. If they wanted us to go with like Velcro, we're like, we're not doing that. So there's a lot more people, like I said, to say no to us, but we just kept pushing, and we ended up, you know, finding that right partner to make the shoes the right way that we liked the quality of, and
And we also try to leverage people that are here that like, because at the end of the day, if you're in like a product consumer space, like people that are in the game, like kind of don't really want you to win.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you think like they're coming off as being genuine, but at the same time, like they have ulterior motives.
It's a disingenuous.
Disingenuous.
Yeah.
They don't really want to see you succeed. Like they're there for the moment and will like pretend to help you get there, but like at the end of the day, if like any competitor,
Right.
like you know, you really
You're adding competition. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why
That
am I
doesn't
gonna help
benefit
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you're young and naive and
You'll
you're
just
kinda
take
going
it for what it's
blind,
worth, and then
you're not really understanding how the game's played.
oh my god.
So you know.
So you guys got played.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Couple
We got-
times.
We got our
Twice.
shirt taken. We got our
Twice.
lunch money taken. We got everything.
We were stripped.
Yeah.
We had our underwear, on, but that was about it.
So walk me through this process,
Yeah.
right? Like you guys come up with the concept. It's the school project. You guys decide to do business. You're doing the research and development.
Yeah.
Some 3D modeling from New Jersey, right? That's you guys made it work from here.
Yeah.
How does that get to China? Like, how does that where does because China's what is that, like 20 something hours
It's
flying?
like 24 door to door. Like you can get there in like 18 to Hong Kong,
but
then you
so
need to,
yeah, that's
yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
like did you guys even speak Chinese? Like
no,
just
no. I
No,
mean,
but
Translator.
luckily they spoke pretty good English and they had like
English
people-
is the language of business.
Yeah.
At the
That's
end of the
true.
day, so
No,
it's
that's very
spoken,
true.
Internationally, but
what about the culture there though? Like what about like because you know how they say like you watching like movies and stuff
Yeah.
and they're like oh like this guy fuck $300 million whatever like make sure you bow, make sure like you don't shake him with this hand like it's like was
they
it,
definitely have their customs. So
we try to be as respectful and ask our person that helped show us around like
Yeah.
how did you do these type of
Yeah.
things and
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So like how do you get there? Because you're here in New Jersey,
Yeah.
you have a 5-inch shoe.
Yeah,
And
I'll simplify it as best I
right,
can.
that's we don't have to go too into it, but
like,
just
ultimately, I leverage a free platform on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Like anyone can use.
this is after
how do you even come up with that idea though? Because like I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, I was just so frustrated that I had gotten like my pants.
that's
taken.
what I was gonna say like
Wow.
just note that this is Eric's gonna go through like how the strategic steps that actually worked
Right.
but there was a lot of steps before this
Right, in
that just-
betweens to get to that. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying with the Stones. Eric's just like, yeah, we're gonna go on LinkedIn and do this,
Yeah.
and then go to China.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what? Like,
it was actually Upwork right
I was Upwork. I mean, I was like beyond frustrated. Like at
Right.
myself, at like the situation I'm in.
Upwork need a sponsor
Brand ambassador. My name's Eric.
how much money did you guys get paid for?
Probably
my
like
God.
15.
15,000.
yeah, I
15,000.
wish it was 15 on that almost one project was 15 with,
Damn.
I mean, I've blocked it out.
dude,
So
it was a lot man like
Yeah.
we could have
Does it still hurt to this day when you're like, damn, bro, that was 15 grand?
not really, but it did hurt for a while. It stung for a while.
At the moment, in the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah, in
because
the
No,
moment.
even the lingering effects. Like I still felt it like a year when we were still struggling, like trying to get this afloat.
Right.
Like man, what we
You
can do
always
with
felt like,
15,000
what that
right
money
now. Like,
would
if I just
do,
had
yeah.
it,
Right,
I
right.
could put it to work, and I would do
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Yep.
But I don't have it because it's in this guy's pocket who like saw me coming.
yeah
So like scammed.
not
I
scam
mean,
but
not
like
scam.
people that
Overpriced.
Didn't fall
people
through.
that talk the
Yeah.
talk but
Right,
can't walk the
okay.
walk, which is in every business, every industry. There's
Yeah.
those
They just
people you run
underdelivered
into.
and you didn't get what you thought you were gonna get,
Yeah.
and then
100.
We overpay for underdelivered. Or,
And like
yeah.
what you want to do is you're willing to overpay for the inexperience.
Yes.
yeah,
Like you're inexperienced.
You don't know any better.
You want to like cut the learning curve, so you're gonna pay a bit more because you
Right.
believe you can do that, and
Yeah.
ultimately like it's just you're setting yourself up for failure.
yeah.
By just instead of like being committed and learning and like what we should have done prior
Right.
is what we ended up doing and helped us succeed.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
ultimately like, oh, we want to make a shoe, like there's a competitor here, we feel the pressure, we want to get into market, how can I get a product as soon as I can? And that's where you slip up. So like essentially just like to nutshell it all, like
Yep.
I was super frustrated. I leveraged LinkedIn and
Upwork.
Upwork.
Okay.
It's very easy. I created a project. How it was going to take 3 to 6 months. I needed a 3D rendering. So like you got to think of this like outwardly. Okay, if I was building something, what do you need?
Yeah.
You need schematics. Like
Right.
if you're building a building, you need a blueprint. So
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I have to find someone. I know nothing about manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a business background and I have a press background. I don't have manufacturing. I know zero.
Yep.
So okay, this is what you need. Because this makes common sense, right? So I'm like, okay, put it out there. A guy responded, Joel out in Boston. If you're hearing this, what's up? He was just like, oh, I have the product already. We have a prototype. So he drew out the diagram. Then he was like, hey, listen, if you need somebody, to make this, to help produce it for you. At the time, we were with somebody else, but he's like, I got a guy in the Poconos.
This is the key right here.
Yeah, major key. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. I actually do. Like, although I had someone on the back burner, you never know.
Yeah.
And he was in the Poconos, so it was only like 45 minutes.
Worth
from me.
exploring.
Cool. Say less. Yeah, I'd love to meet him. So set it up. Went out to Poconos. Like, I think you were with me the first time.
Yeah.
Right. So we all went. Because the business side, like I'll do a deep dive, and if I have to bring Ryan in, like I'll bring him in.
Right.
So yeah, we went to go check out Lou's place. He's in a shoe dog by trade, but like he has fundamental knowledge and like chemistry and he has a diverse background. He's like done everything.
Yeah. We always joked with him, said he had like 10 lives.
Yeah, he was like a paramedic. He was a chef. He just did all a bunch of stuff. So we were talking about it, and then we were like, "Hey, listen, this is our product. We come through recommendation from Joel.
Right.
He says you're the guy to help us out. Like, can you do this for us?" So he's looking at it. He's like, "Yeah," but then you can see like he was getting excited about it. We're like, "Oh wow, he's like speaking our language. He sees the vision because there's only very few people that understand the vision. You can't communicate it really like."
Not everybody's going to be interested in the beginning, especially when you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and we weren't like a wealthy or like heavily invested startup.
Right.
We have like $0.
We
so
were
it's
ground floor.
Yeah, we're in the basement, not even the ground floor. So I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're underfunded, obviously, but we want, but like if I'm confident if we can produce a prototype, I can find.
You can work with that, and then.
So he was kind of generous enough. Like, I mean, we felt like a part of the family pretty like instantaneously. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
how you felt about it.
Yeah, no, it was this man, Lou Correga, was a great guy. That was the first meeting. Then the second meeting we came back, this man already had a prototype from China. Yeah. And it was only like a couple days later or a week later or something. I'm like,
he worked really fast.
He turned this thing around so quick when people were just...
That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
No
like,
pun intended. That's
Holy
just
shit. I'm like, wow, this guy's the real deal. Like, we've ran into a lot of phonies, but this is the guy. And not only was, he very experienced and well-versed in shoe manufacturing, but he also cared about the project and us. And like, we felt... the mutual respect, and it didn't take very long before we were like calling him Uncle Lou, because he really was like our first mentor. He brought us in like family members. Yeah. And when we were ready to actually make the run, we were like, okay, let's come out of our own pocket. We'll finance for a trip to China. Like, this is like it though. We have to.
So now it's like you have to set up a meeting and go to these places to make sure that this is the right fit.
And so instead of him being like, all right, guys, good luck, he was like, I'm coming with you guys.
That's cool.
Oh wow.
So that first trip, man, he got it. Like, he said that he had meetings out there and stuff, but like the whole time.
Yeah, he was with us, and
he was happy to be involved, and like just he was excited. He believed in it.
He believed in it, man. And that's
and was that part of like the service too, or was that just something that kind of took you by like surprise, where you're like, really, like
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he had mentioned that he was flying there during these dates. So I opened up a Discover credit card. I was like, well, I'm going to.
Yeah.
So
I love that. We talked about maxing out credit cards in the last one. So you're like, open up a credit card.
Let's do it. 0 APR for 18 months. Sign me up. Yep. So I'm like, yep.
19 months, I can build a multi-million
back in a year and a half.
Yeah. Swiped it. And I was like, yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, so, and all he said was, right, we got a credit card. We're going to China. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, and people ask me, well, was I nervous or no? I wasn't. I wasn't at all. I just felt like this was like part of the process.
Right.
Like,
you're like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want. And at the time, like, I had read Shoe Dog, a memoir by Phil Knight, the creator.
I have the book. It's great.
That was like probably my third time reading it. I'm like, okay, it's telling me something.
Yep.
So, and he had made the trip with a friend of his and all this stuff. And then I had joined organization called SCORE.
Okay.
It's like it's an organization, main participants are retired like businessmen. So you can go in there, you have a dedicated little team, and you can bounce ideas, and they're like a sounding board.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
it's a community, so then that way you can like...
It's like a network of mentors.
Right.
Yeah, basically,
really cool.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then... this guy Richard, he was in manufacturing overseas. I think he was like responsible for bringing like the first hair dryer, like blow dryer, to market.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And then he was like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go to China.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that an absolute like necessity?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. You should have gone yesterday.
He was dead
Yeah.
on.
And I'm like, shit, Ryan, we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Like, open the credit
No
card.
looking
went to
back,
China.
yeah.
No, man, that was it, dude. Like, it was
How
cool.
how hard is it to find like a manufacturer?
So, it was almost impossible before Lou. Once Lou came around, he was like...
He opened up a lot of doors.
You guys like these guys? You guys think this would be better? And then we had to test out a few. So that first time that we maxed out the credit card to go there...
we opened up a new one and maxed out a second one.
Balance transfer.
That's a real thing.
The plan was, okay, we're going to come out of this pocket, but like... we need this to work.
Right.
Because when we come back with this prototype, we're gonna get an investor. Like
Right.
that's
That's the plan.
That's the
We
mission.
need the proof to be able to come back and have the
Exactly.
tangible to show. I remember this too because
Yes.
around the times that was a struggle, right? It's like, okay, it's up here. We need it this, so then you could, because honestly, bro, people they're just unimaginative as fuck these days.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
feel like people are just like,
Yeah.
just like.
People are visual
what do they
learners.
call it?
too.
No, not even that. Like, what do they call it? Like the video game characters, NPCs. People are just doing their thing. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
you try and tell them something, they're like, they don't get it, and it's just like, all right,
Well,
whatever.
they're like programmed to live like a corporate America lifestyle and not really think outside the box.
yeah.
You know, that's just like they're just conditioned to. It's like I understand because I spoke the language, but at the same time, like there's just like aspirations to just do more.
Right.
You know, I mean, blue collar is cool and everything, but like,
none against
You
it.
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
for sure. Like,
whatever-
listen, like,
Whatever
you
fits
find
you,
happiness,
whatever
Yeah.
fits you. But this fit us. We were in love with the project, and then we found Lou that was also in love with the
so
project.
you had the project, and then you had the
And then-
prototype, and then came back.
and then came back.
Came
But when
back.
we came back that first time, we were like, okay, this is cool. Like we didn't even have our real logo yet. We were just getting started.
there were
like,
so many things
so
that
many-
you need to like get done,
Yes.
established to
Yeah.
like just.
this is the thing that I'll always stand by though. Like
Look,
I say this a lot of times too, right? Like, it's such a true comparison. Like the logo is so important. Like at the end of the day, it's gonna go through tons of iterations.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the importance of having a logo that like is a symbol of what you're striving towards
Right.
is an absolute necessity.
Yeah.
Because it's like to me, in comparison, it's like a flag.
Yeah.
You know, like that's I identify with this logo. This is me
Yep.
and that. You know, like you're speaking a language that not many will understand, but like you understand, like you're striving towards something.
Yeah.
So I went to Fiverr, leverage another, well, not a free website, but ultimately it is it's a free platform. And
Yeah.
you pay for services. You know, got a logo. We knew it was going to be called Muvez, so we had a little logo. I think Ryan saw the Muvez logo in a dream. Took it.
which one? The real one or
No, the one with the circle.
yeah, the circle one.
Yeah.
But the first one from Fiverr, that was just Fiverr because I was like,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just so busy
Yeah.
with product development that I have no time for a logo. But I was just saying that to say how early we still were in the
Yeah.
process of the R&D.
Yeah, like you have this, but then you're like, yo, we don't even have this.
Yeah.
So we came back with that first prototype. It was great. It showed it worked, but later we were like, and this is not really it, but it served its purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
that was what we were starting to go around pitching. We were pitching this idea to people with any type of proto, like my first handmade prototype, and then like the 3D models, and then the 3D printouts that we tried. All these prototypes, we were pitching and getting told no until we had that prototype. And even that one, we got a couple no's, but that one got us our first yes, which he can explain how that happened.
Yeah,
so.
and then Pat McGowan, our angel investor, is literally in all forms an angel investor because he came in at the right time when we needed cash.
Yep. Was he like the first investor? I would say.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
hands down.
Okay.
Hands down. It was contact through fraternity. I joined my senior year in college. New
See
Sigma
how I was
Phi.
like, there's so many people that get you to people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how it really works. People
Yeah.
like to stay in their shell and not talk and not network, but like it's really important the connections that you make.
And people-
The quicker it's like it's not even like you're using people,
Yeah,
but it's the
no.
quicker that you could sort of just sift through and just like, all right, this person's good for this person's good for that. We get along with this. They're good for like it's just like, and if you have good intentions, of course, right? Then it all.
Because people like that you're speaking to that are in the industry can like read if you're like disingenuous or not, or like unauthentic. They're like, this guy's like sketchy.
Yeah.
No, but
But like, but again, it's like again, we speak that language too. So like, there's so much psychology that goes into it.
yeah,
Where it's like like when you walk out, right, and it's just like, you think to yourself like, damn, like we didn't get it, or like we
Yeah.
did get it,
Yeah.
But there's so many hints that just. When when they're asking questions or
dude.
and so it's just
Bro.
like and so before you know too in a weird way, but it's just like that, and that's that like business talk, that business language that like I just feel like either I don't know, like you get it or you don't get it or you can learn it. Like I don't know. That's always sort of like
no, it's for me like the words that aren't like the unspoken words speak louder to me.
that's true.
If I ask a question, like I'm asking you a question because I'm trying to set you up. I mean, I'm giving all my secrets out here, but like I'm asking you a question because
We'll put a paywall.
Yeah. No, like I have information that I need to get out of you, so I'm gonna ask this question, and like depending on how you answer it is how I'm gonna know.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell Ryan, like, hey, dude, like this guy's wasting our time. He's like, no. But Ryan's like,
I'm the ultimate optimist.
Ryan, ultimate optimist, but like that's what you need because you need like a duality between like positive and negative to like, the yin and the yang. So I'm like, dude, like this guy is just like bullshitting us.
Yeah.
Like I like
and
your
the quicker
approach.
you can learn that, the more time you save.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's like, if you guys have 10 pitches or 10 meetings and they're all an hour long, that's 10 hours. But if you can quickly just know, 10 minutes in, like, nope, like,
Saving
just
your
cut it
time.
short, you'll get more done. Because
and with experience, like you'll beginning to really start owning like that skill set. Because now, like within 5 minutes, I could kind of read like body language.
Isn't it crazy too how like you can go in and like just like I don't know like you're just almost like you talked it into existence.
Yeah.
Like you're like we're gonna go in there today. This guy's gonna give us like a big check. Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Just your words are going to move this person and make this person make a decision and just be like, yep, you guys check off. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of like having like
And that's business.
Yeah. But that's what you need like in a high intention conversation. Like when you have two guys that like want the same thing.
Right.
It's easier that way instead of, trying to sell somebody. Like that was the good thing. One of the many good things that the Shark Tank opportunity came with us. Because like so many times I was pitching the concept, pitching the benefits, trying to like coerce them into thinking my way.
Yeah.
And the Shark Tank platform allowed us like instant credibility, instant validation. Like,
Right.
This is what a product does. This is why you should buy it. And if you don't buy it, that's okay because like, we'll be able to survive. But like back then when we were still kind of coming up together, it was very much like pitching at like sneaker shows, pitching at restaurants.
You guys got into the mall for a little bit.
Yeah.
You were in Garden State Mall for a little while there.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Did a little activation there with the that was like a new concept they were working out where they were just let new brands
Small businesses
kind of like put a pop-up in their store, like a permanent pop-up almost, and so we did that for as long as we could, and it was great exposure. But yeah, I just thought an interesting part about that and how Eric was able to close that deal with the investor, that 1st investor, was like he took our prototype that we came back from China with, and then he took a competitor's product, went to Nordstrom, bought the competitor's product, brought both to him, and we're like, this is our product, this is theirs.
Yeah.
And this is making this much money, like we can really do something crazy, and that's what really made him sign those papers. Like, okay, I see it. So that
you have to paint that future.
Even though that prototype wasn't perfect, it was
it's enough to be able to.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is the proof of concept. This is really going to work. He believed it, and then that was what gave us the funding to go back to China the second time, to go to a new factory that Lou again had connected us with, and make what you see today.
Well, after the first time when he came back, I felt like I mean I think we both agreed like it felt like the project was rushed.
Yeah.
Like they had just
You
started
guys were there for how many
manufacturing.
days the first time?
Like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks.
Oh,
But I felt like right before we got there, like that thing came off the press. And I'm like, oh, see, this is not kind of, I understand like I'm a small nobody brand.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I want to feel like my time and my energy is validated because I flew halfway around the country.
Yeah.
So like after chopping it up with him and just understanding like his intention like wasn't to take on his father's company. He wanted to do his own thing and whatever. I'm like, you gotta like love this and want to work with me like this.
He wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, no one knows him. But, yeah. So
I've met him.
Yeah, you went to the office one time.
Oh
Yes,
my
dude.
God.
I met him.
Yeah,
He actually came to the office.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then, like, we hit it off. Like, he took us to Korean barbecue. We went to karaoke.
Yes, we did.
I was smoking cigarettes, and I don't smoke, but, like, just so that I can get in with them, Like,
That's a big thing over there. Tea and cigarettes.
Yeah, they love the
If you just want,
cigarettes.
like, bullshit and, like, over, like, a table talk business, like, tea, cigarette, and I'm just, like, barely even inhaling it because I don't want to look like an idiot.
Right.
So, like...
You're just like, yo, we just got to do the Splendid. Right, take a fucking puff.
I'm dying.
He's like coughing. He's like, I swear I smoke.
So hanging out with him, we got a realization that okay, maybe this guy isn't for us because like I was so like captivated by the idea of making this product that like if anyone wasn't gonna share in my enthusiasm, like I had to cut you out.
Yeah,
because you're gonna like
you have to be like
compromise. When I
no,
got
yeah,
going,
yeah. You got what, like when you get serious and you're going at that was like 120 mile an hour, like just every waking second is about this. You go to sleep dreaming about this. You came from the office to sleep and you wake up the next morning and the only thing you think about is getting back in there and going into that grind.
And I was like, Ryan, we can't work with him.
Anybody who's not on that level,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Out.
You
Gotta
out.
go.
Out. Ryan was like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Dude, I like." He's making a case for him, but again, like Ryan, that's not Ryan's thing,
Right.
you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nah, dude, like I can't. I don't like what's going
The
on."
thing is, those are business decisions. They're not
Yeah.
personal.
No, not at
personally,
all.
we're friends. I
Great
like
guy.
you, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, like that's the whole thing where like there's no
You're
feelings in
not gonna
business.
uplift.
There's no like.
I don't
it's
feel.
just-
Yeah. I feel like this is one sided. So I'm like, "No, dude, we gotta get out of here."
yeah.
He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
And I told Lou, I'm like, "Lou, you gotta find me somebody else." He's like, "I don't really know." I'm like, "Dude, you gotta find me. I'm not gonna work with this guy. Like,
Yeah.
I like him personally. We had a great time in China, but
Yeah.
like he has like my baby.
Yeah.
You know, like he's in control of my unborn kid.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna compromise that right out of the womb.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah, dude, you gotta find me somebody." And then he fortunately recommended me to these two brothers, Teddy and Kenny, Taiwanese brothers who like I guess went on to China for a business opportunity. And they were like they're agents close to the factory, and like that's the genesis of how that relationship kind of began. And that's what the reasoning we went to China for the second time. We met with them, and then
Yeah, and they were like true craftsmen that were all about it. That's like their full-time gig. That
Yeah.
really care about quality. They make shoes for the bigger brands. So,
top
yeah.
tier A brands, and
Yeah.
like they had a team that was committed, and like
Which is cool because now you're like, my shoe is being created at this place.
It's in
where,
good hands.
Where other shoes
Yeah.
that are, you know.
Yeah, and my dream felt safe.
Yeah.
Where in the other place, like my dream was teetering like on extinction before it even like became anything.
Yeah.
So like, God damn, I only have one swing at this thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I don't hit, I can't like be satisfied with a single or a double. Like I'm gonna put all my fucking eggs in this basket, dude.
Yeah. You need a home run.
I need a grand slam, bro. I need a grand slam.
Because if you're coming out of the gate, you know, the product's got to be right, man. Like if like you can have other things that you can
Tweak.
improve and
Yeah.
get better with, but the product, if we came out and people were like, "Oh, this product sucks," like because it's falling apart or whatever, that would have crushed us. But because no matter what else, you know, if it's an inventory problem or anything like that, it was just always the product is solid. Like this,
Yeah.
the construction
The
is good.
functionality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even Rob on that podcast you were talking about, like
Yep.
we sent him a pair. He was like, "Man, unbelievable construction of this product."
No, dude, I like, so like, again, like when I met you guys and you told me the whole thing, I was like, it was like, I was like, this is cool as fuck. Like, you know, and I'm not even like a sneakerhead, but I'm just like, okay, like I'm a convenience kind of guy, comfortable kind of guy. So like, you know, when I did try them on, and obviously, like I said, I have a pair, it was just like, I'm not even saying this because I know you guys and you guys are my friends. I genuinely, as like a customer feedback, like it's just one of those things where it just lives in my house, and it's just like when I need it, and it's just like a to-go-to thing, and you don't have to think about it twice. I could just, you know, slip it on, whatever.
Type
And
in your code,
it's
Allan.
comfortable. It's dude. It's just, I don't know. Like the colors are great. Like I really like the second wave that you guys are making.
Yeah.
So those are the
see these.
travelers.
Yeah, and this, like, I think, you know, I've said this a couple of times, but like the design on this shoe outside of the outsole, just because this is like been prefabricated, this is the mold, but like this really kind of speaks to the designers we are today compared to the V1 that like we had no idea what we were doing.
The first ones aren't bad.
No, they're just minimal. They're
Right.
you know, they're simple.
You know, the feedback that I always got from people was and this is also kind of like my own personal one, was like the sole, or not the sole, I'm sorry, the shoe itself, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you put the sole,
Yeah.
it got a little bulky.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
And not to say like I hated it or didn't like it, like it you know, it was a great product, but
Yeah.
the way that this sort of integrates together, it
Yeah,
just
it's all blends.
Yeah. Especially the colors too, that like naked nude color, whatever you got
Yeah,
going on.
tan.
It's like
Yeah.
so you guys, it's crazy because it's like, you know, again, you have, it's like almost like it's like Pokemon. Like you guys had this like Pokemon, and this it evolved. It's the evolution of you know, you guys have this is way stronger, way you
This
know.
is Charmander now.
I can't wait for Charizard.
Nerd talk.
So, and then next is going to be, you know, we are, like you were saying, it's a little bulky, so we are working on this outsole, make it more simple, ubiquitous, a little bit thinner, and just add some better grip, just make that better, and then, you know, eventually we'll evolve all the uppers and the outsoles, and so that's
Offering more of a like a cohesive product line
yeah.
where it's like uppers and lows and mids.
So this So let's talk about Shark Tank real quick, right? So we know Moves, we know the company. There's obviously so much that we can go into.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even do a part 2. But how did Shark Tank come to life, right? Like that's crazy. Like that's just crazy as a whole, you know? Like
Yeah.
you guys sold out that night too, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the whole website just inventory everything.
Oh yeah. Within
I think if you
minutes.
go online and read like articles about you guys and like you know what it says, it's like I don't know, like how many units did you guys move that night? What was it, like $500,000 or something you guys sold that night?
Yeah, about 30 days. Yeah, we did $500,000. Yeah.
Yeah, like just
That's it. Yeah.
that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's the power and the influence of Shark Tank, and I think
insane.
also like capitalized by unfortunate like the timing of it all. Everyone was like sheltering in place and watching indoors.
More viewership too, which is
and that certainly like propelled us to hit those kind of numbers. But I mean, Shark Tank in essence, like I was living still at home because I had no money at the time. Like I literally like emptied my bank account.
Yeah.
And I had like 20,000, which wasn't crazy, but like 26, 27, I was going to buy a 2-family. My parents did like the whole generational wealth thing. And yeah, I was like, no, this is.
you're gonna invest it into business.
Yeah. Making shoes seems way more fun. So let's do that. So,
Sometimes going for the fun route versus the secure route honestly pays off.
yeah, not in the like
Not
in
always.
immediate,
Yeah,
but in
in the long
interim,
run.
sure.
Yeah.
I was home and it was like a muggy kind of like ugly day, and I saw that Barbara Corcoran was gonna be moderating like a e-commerce panel.
Okay.
There was like a couple guys that were doing some like really cool things, and I remember thinking like in my room, man, like I don't want to go to New York.
Yeah.
It's like 6 o'clock at night. I just work. Like I don't want to go to New York.
But you know, like if you do,
There's a chance.
right?
There's
You,
a chance.
there's no
Possibility.
guarantee,
There's a possibility,
which is what Matt was saying was
Yeah.
like getting around the right people. So
Yeah.
it's just like you're
Yeah.
creating opportunity for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that like
Yeah.
I'm home, it's comfortable, I'm
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah, I know.
She's there, like and then but that's the difference. So that's what makes the difference is
Yeah.
that decision.
All the difference, man.
In like you know what,
Just being there.
I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
Yeah.
take a swing at it.
And I thought like to myself in the moment, like my circle is not gonna get any bigger if I'm home by myself.
Yeah,
Like I'm not benefiting me personally. I'm not benefiting from the company. Like I'm gonna have to just go.
you're not moving the needle forward.
No, I'm being I'm staying stagnated, and I hate that, or being
Yep.
like stuck in one place.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. So I went. I had a pair like I always do. I sat through the discussion, which was like cool, and it was like premature because at this point, like DTC wasn't anywhere like where it is now. This was like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So she has a meet and greet after the show concludes, and there's really maybe like 50, 60 people. So I'm
wow.
like, I'm gonna have access.
Wasn't even
Yeah.
that many.
Yeah, I'll have a moment with her, So the line forms, and I'm not like an extrovert, but I'm not introvert either.
Right.
I'm like somewhere like in the middle, So I'm like, I have my pair, like, I'll just go. So I sat on the line. It was going pretty quick. It was like speed, like hellos. So it's my turn. I'm like, hey, Barbara, big fan, love Shark Tank, love what you're doing, And I'm like, hey, by the way, like, I have a pair on me I'd love to, like, give to your husband, Bob or Bill at the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's a size 9. She's like, oh, great, he's a size 9. I'm like, oh.
Did you know that, or was that?
Really?
So that was just
that's just
Destiny.
fate. That was just fate
That's
right
all it
there.
is.
Yeah, fate.
And I'm like, okay, great. So then I was talking to Drama. Drama was there.
Yep.
He had his clothing company. I forgot what it is.
Young
Young
and
and
Reckless.
Reckless.
Young and Reckless.
Yeah.
Huge,
Yes.
yeah.
He was there with his partner, and there was a sunglass company. And on her way out, she was gonna leave the box. So I see her leaving.
You're like, nah,
No.
I didn't come out here for
Yeah,
nothing.
and I'm like, her assistant. I'm like, hey, don't let Barbara forget her, her pair. And she's like, oh, thanks for reminding me. I'm like, oh, I'll talk to you soon. She was like super approachable. Like
Right.
Barbara was a great like person. Like her aura was just so inviting.
Yeah.
When she saw me, she was like, do you work out? And I was like, here and there.
Yeah.
I was trying to pump some iron for sure. Like trying to be humble, like a little bit. And then she like takes my arm, she puts like her head in an arm lock, and I'm like, oh man, this is hilarious. Yeah. So like a week or two goes by, and this photo is so important because this is a follow up for me. right? So I'm not gonna cold email her and say, hey, you remember me? She probably won't.
Right.
But I have a photo, and I'm like, hey, Barbara, like, you know, my friends and family love this photo of us, just, you know, checking in to see how things are going.
Right.
If there's any feedback.
It was more of a soft email now. It's a
yeah.
warmer. It's not like.
Now it's like,
friendly.
I met this guy.
Right.
Like, yeah, you know, if I said move slippers, she'd be like, who, what?
Yep.
And she saw the photo, and then like within, I don't know, a day. I think, you know what it was? I think I emailed her in the morning because I got
The next day.
Great habit. I schedule emails.
Follow up is so key. People don't do it.
No, but scheduling an email, writing it, and then scheduling it for the next day.
That's so smart.
Because you
Be sleeping. And
Yeah.
you just
Sleeping.
Dude,
You're just
I'm so
coming
bad
at work.
I don't want to get sidetracked, but I'm so
Yeah.
bad at emails in the sense of like, you know, like when I send somebody an email and then have those automated response, I'm like, that's so cool. In my head, I'm like, I want to be that person.
Yeah.
But like, I've never worked in corporate America.
Yeah,
like my
yeah.
last job is a pizzeria.
Yeah,
like, so like,
yeah.
you know, I never learned those skills.
Yeah.
And but I'm getting there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I want to be like
yeah,
you. I want to fucking write that draft up.
Yeah.
I schedule YouTube videos. That's what I do.
Okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine.
So
I think when you're writing an email, like it's important just to like honor that person's time.
Yes.
Like don't go on a tangent. Make it short and sweet. If Ryan like has an email you want to write, like I'll proofread it and I'll cut out half of it.
Yeah.
And I'll just get right to the point.
Ryan's like,
I'm pouring my heart out.
Barbara.
We're having
I was like, hey, Barbs.
I love the way you
First
smell.
trip into
yeah, right. Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, because
When you
people
put your head in my arm, I just felt so.
the caress. Yeah. I think, you know, just
Sincerely, Ryan Cruz.
yeah. And then for me, like, you know, as a with a business mindset, I speed read emails.
Yeah.
And if you have an image, like I can click on like a PDF or a doc sign, like, you know, like efficiency is key, and you don't want to just spend too much time like on like the non important stuff.
Yep.
Because I think that also speaks volumes to someone that's receiving it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, this person's efficient, and like he's emailing me in the
You're
morning.
already a little bit more likable because
Yeah.
you're
Straight to
like
the point.
it
You
just
don't-
it fitted into like you're looking to make that friendship or network or whatever. So it's like you have to adapt to that person. Like
Yeah.
it's not like if you invite, let's say you go get lunch, right?
Yeah.
If I invite you to lunch, it's not on my time. It's not on my schedule.
No.
It's on yours.
Yeah.
You tell me when you have gap, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
you're doing the same thing with that email. You're
Yeah.
just hoping it catches traction in that.
8 in the morning usually, like 8 in the morning or after lunch around like 1 or 2.
So is that when you sent it?
Yeah, I sent it like 8 in the morning. I drafted the night before, then I sent it at 8 in the morning.
That's amazing.
And then what?
And then like 7 o'clock the same day,
get a response?
producer from Shark Tank is like, hey,
Just
She
randomly,
didn't reach back, but
yeah,
somebody else reached back.
yeah, from the show.
Did you think you were did you think you were getting like punked or did you like
Oh.
what
Yeah,
was the reaction
definitely.
on that?
I remember I was at the gym, man.
Yeah.
I was at the gym. Was
Barbara
like 7
complimented me. I'm
Yeah,
going
like,
back tomorrow.
You know?
motivation.
Yeah,
Started pumping more iron.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, oh shit, is this real? But then I thought to myself, okay,
What are the odds that you get one today?
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
I'm like, this could be tied. So I'm like, dude, I just screenshot. I'm like, bro, would you imagine? Like, can you believe this is like? Can you believe this email? I forgot what I had said to you, but I remember I screenshot it.
yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, you think this is real?
We're meet at the office, mom's kitchen.
I'll see you upstairs, bro.
So we ran like he was at the gym. I don't know where I was. We ran. We met up at mom's, and we were like, dude, is this real or is like
Yeah.
is this like even me, the ultimate optimist, we were played so much by
Yeah,
then that I'm
yeah.
like, bro, this is some spam.
You have
like,
to do your due
Yeah.
diligence to
Yeah.
make sure, like,
Yeah.
okay, like, is it worth investing
Yeah.
and exploring?
Yeah, look at the signature. Look at the email where it comes from.
The
You're
biggest thing is
"Ooh,
the
it looks
email,
official."
too.
Yeah, like, it looks official, man. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna obviously reply and
Right.
see what happens. You
As
know?
a graphic designer, I'm like, I can make that email. I can make a little signature email myself.
Yeah. For me, I was like, okay, this could be cool. And then I replied, I was like, yeah, we're absolutely interested. And at the point, like we had like $0 in sales. And I'm as a huge fan of the show, like way before any of this even like started percolating. I'm like, my God, Mr. Reynolds was gonna like tear me up if I go on the show with 0 sales. Like that can't happen.
Yeah.
So then, you know, we were just like,
Now we have to make money.
no, we got
We have to show something, yeah. We
gotta show
And
something.
then like,
Cash flow.
you know, there was a Forbes article that was released a couple of days ago, just like peeling back the curtain on Shark Tank and like how intense the due diligence is, how long the process is. Took like 8 months. Like a lot of it, you know, is based in reality. There was a lot of truth to it. Like we had pitch events. Well, that's another thing too. Like the ecosystem entrepreneurship, even pre-COVID, was like, you know, in existence, but like in the basement. No
Right.
one's really talking about it. You know,
Yeah.
like so we would attend pitch nights and we wouldn't even be pitching.
Yeah.
We would just go to see like, you know, how the atmosphere was, what like the general attitude of the show was, like who's who, can we mix it up? And I really don't like networking. I mean, I like it in a way where it's
you have to
going to benefit me. Like
right.
that's
turn
like
it on.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you know, I don't really try to give advice, but like if someone asks me, like, you certainly don't want to be networking with like, you don't want to be a crab in the barrel.
Yeah.
You know, because like other crabs are in that barrel are going to be trying to step on you to get out of the barrel.
Yeah.
So like you have to try to like make an ascension. Like don't hang around like-minded people. Like it's better for you to hang around people that are like doing things like that you're not doing.
Right.
Because they can like try and persuade you or help you navigate like this very challenging road.
You're like success leaves clues is what I always say.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking to learn from people who are doing it.
Got to.
It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It could be cooking, weightlifting, business. Like I'm always like, okay, like this person has what I want or is doing what I want. I'm gonna listen to them. And you know, people who aren't, no disrespect to them, but in a way it's like, all right, like maybe their opinion could be valid, but for the most part, like to me, I don't really, you know, listen to it. It's just like, you know, so it's like, you've done this, like clearly you're, you know, like there's the proof is in the pudding there. It works. And so that's the kind of networking you want to do. Cause that's the difference between also activity and productivity. Something I always preach all the time, because even within our team, like, it's like, okay, like people be like, oh, I did this. I'm like, okay, great. But like you were active. That's not productive. Like that didn't do anything really. You might've talked to somebody or you might've done this, but like, I don't want to shit on you, but it's like, bro,
it's not yielding.
What did we gain from
it?
What did we gain from this? Nothing.
100%. But like people prefer to be comfortable, so they're gonna like be networking with like-minded people that are like in their general like positioning.
Yeah. As a start, whatever, start there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like after you get a certain level, you have to get yourself uncomfortable.
Right.
Put yourself in situations where you're not the smartest in the room.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
It's cool to just hang out with your friends and do these things.
For
like,
a limited amount of time.
yeah, you got to grow up, because at that point, like people are learning, competing against you, already kind of like on this roadmap, and you're still here like bullshitting.
Right.
You know, it's not really gonna pay off.
So that's what you guys were doing. And okay.
Yeah, I mean that's networking to a point like got me
to Shark Tank.
Yeah, to Shark Tank, and
that took a whole year,
being
obviously, behind the scenes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So walk me through the process, right? So you guys are whatever, like it's a bunch of emails back and forth, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
They have to qualify you. They have to like accept you, like you, whatever. Like, how's that? Like, you know, in brief, like just
every TV show, you gotta like, you know, submit your submission video of introducing yourself, because they might be like, nah, you know, right from there, just who are you?
Yeah.
So we got past
there's like rounds that you have to make through.
Yeah. So we're like fighters in this round. And first round is just get us to like us. Okay, cool. Next round is, okay, guys, we like you. Like, let's see if you guys can craft a pitch together. So we're like, all right, like, you know, we all put our heads in and we're like, how can we make this, you know, an entertaining pitch? And we tried our best, but they were like, guys, it's not it. You know, they had, I think it was like 2 rounds of like, guys, it's not it. And we're like, oh man, like we got to get something. So then I went to the drawing board. I started getting real creative with like exactly how we're going to approach it. I watched like a lot of
other episodes,
but mainly episodes that had multiple people, because we had 3 people going up there. So we're like, okay, how do we all get apart? How, you know? So I had to like with production, you kind of have to like build out a treatment. It's kind of like building that out with cast members and all that. So, you know, I put it together, and then I'm like, okay, how can we make it entertaining? Like, we might have to be a little cheesier or animated than we usually are when we're talking to people, or, you know, but it's TV.
That's
like,
and the way Shark Tank has changed over the years has changed that whole process as well too, actually. My girlfriend's been watching Shark Tank like on repeat, like for the last like 2 months, like just from season 1 or whatever. And your episode obviously came up. You guys are like, I think like, this sounds weird, but I know it's like season 10 or what, episode 11. Season 10 though, right?
Season 10.
So they in the beginning it was like the cameras, they did like a little mini episode within the actual show where they were like, next up on the tank it's gonna be, and then they talk about like, you know, Ryan and Eric, like, you know, New Jersey, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, but like now in these later seasons, it's you go in there and like you have to actually pitch, whereas back then it was just like you just shut up and then they just asked you a bunch of questions. Like there was no like, well, we did this, we're asking for this, and like it's so. It's interesting how like the shows progressed, and then like obviously when you guys got into it, because now there's like a bunch of more seasons post you guys, but like it's when you guys were in on TV for that episode and that season, that's that like process that you guys had to do. And,
That was the format. I mean,
all about the pitch,
We weren't only pitching the Sharks; we were pitching America like at the same time.
right.
Like,
Everybody's watching this.
everybody's gonna watch it. So how can we entertain them?
and not everybody takes this into account.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many, like, I think only a third or if not a third, half of companies that are invited out actually like get taped, get aired.
Yeah. So then
That's true too. I remember you told me
Yeah.
that you were like, you can go there, do the whole thing, but they might just not even make the cut on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it real entertaining. So that's why we did the whole shoes, bro. Even though we didn't want to, like,
Right.
I was like, come on, we gotta get.
No,
something
you
kinda
guys did
funny.
great. It
Shoes,
was
bro.
good.
And then I'm like, I'm
TV.
gonna be like running and jumping and like doing like so. This was all like a part to make it more fun and entertaining for people. And when we sent it in to the producers, they were like, okay, guys, you got it. This is it.
So
let's
the
go
one
with
that
this.
you guys did on air was what you actually like did at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So then to get it right, to make sure they understand our vision on how we're gonna pitch it, we pitched it in front of a camera and sent it to them. And that's when they were like, "Yeah, guys."
Did you have to like pretend Q&A stuff and answer stuff? Or?
No.
It was just up until the initial
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you-
all real. That's
questions
all
that happen
real.
on TV while you're there. You have no idea what they're
idea.
asking you.
I never
Like-
saw those people before that moment.
And the Sharks like don't know who's coming up next, so they're like completely blindsided.
Oh,
too.
so they don't even know. Like,
No.
all right, next up is whatever. Like, they're
Yeah.
just like three. You know,
there's a
people
conflict of
walking.
interest if one shark
Yeah.
knows more information than the other sharks because then he has an advantage.
Right.
But like it was nice to like see Mark Cuban, Daymond, Mr. Wonderful like during commercial breaks because it like humanized them. Or like
Were they
oh.
different off camera or during commercial break?
No, they're just
we didn't have that much access. We just saw.
How
them.
big
We
is
just
that
saw
room? Because like the room looks
it's pretty big.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Huge.
big, yeah. It's
Yeah.
wide. It's not very long, but
How
it's
many
super
cameras
wide.
are on set?
Oh my god, 20,
Yeah,
30.
they got
Yeah.
swinging around. And
How many
everything.
people are behind that scene that's just running that
Like
production?
30 because there's also like the Sharks like assistants, they're
Yeah.
all kind of back there.
Yeah.
Their whole team is out there somewhere.
And they're
And-
like editing as they go. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
And so,
awesome.
like, let's say you guys are there on the pitching floor. How far is that in realistic, like, distance from their chairs, seats,
Maybe
whatever?
another like 5-10 feet from where the wall
Oh, that's
is.
pretty close.
Oh, so they're not like.
No, they're not far. No. Like you
Just
have an
makes
X
you-
on the carpet, so they're like, "Hey, you gotta stand there," and they have this like standoff. So we're standing there, and I'm like,
Were you guys nervous?
The
Oh my
stand-up's
gosh,
always
dude,
funny.
Like, it's the buildup is crazy. Like we're in our trailer pitching just to pass time,
This,
but also
this was in West Coast too, right?
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
flew out for this.
California.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know we were definitely happy to be there, and we were just in the trailer pitching. Like I'm like we
You're
gotta
just
keep-
rehearsing.
dude, to nauseam.
To the
bro.
point where we
Like,
got
I couldn't
down
do
to
it.
Where you're like, oh, I don't want to say this anymore because
yeah,
you're just like.
sick of it.
to the point we got behind those big doors that you see on the show,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we're like, okay, let's say a quick prayer and let's get out there.
Yeah.
You know? And they were like, okay, guys.
Well, no, we were in Soundcheck, and we're still going through it.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Eric. Hi, my name's
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, this will never end. This will never end.
So, and then when they say, okay, guys, when we open those doors, like you have to walk through. So, like, those doors open up. I'm like, oh my God,
It's
we
game
see
time.
them. Yeah, we're walking down the hall. You can hear the theme in your head. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh my God, it's real. You get to the carpet, you got to look at them a little bit, have a standoff, and then you got to start. And I was the one to start. And like, I was just so like still taking in the moment and it's like kind of nervous that I almost didn't start. I almost couldn't get the words out. I
They're
was
like,
it almost took E to hit me and be like, yo, let's go.
I was gonna
Almost.
nudge him like, yo, you're up.
And I'm like,
they don't give you a start time or nothing, right?
whole-
It's not like action or nothing. Like it's
well,
just.
they tell you, all right, 3, 2, 1, So
Yeah.
then when they said that, even after that, I'm like waiting and just like smiling, like, like, what's the first line?
You really froze up.
I froze up for a couple
like-
seconds. I was like, what's the first line? I was like, oh yeah, the first line is, hey Sharks. And, once I got hey Sharks out,
Freelog.
yeah,
I'm like, oh thank God.
oh God, I got it out.
Oh, my
and
God, I
then
could've went
luckily,
sideways.
because of the repetition, how much we practiced it, we were able to do it pretty flawlessly. Like like no real mess ups.
What happens if you mess up? Is there a retake?
Oh,
No.
it's all
No?
real.
No,
It's all
camera's
real.
rolling,
There's
yeah.
sometimes that people look and they just can't talk. They just
Yeah.
They just probably just
That
don't air that
nervousness.
episode.
Yeah, no, they just want like a library of content. Like even the guy before us, like there was no shot like that he was gonna get a deal, and then he was just getting like eviscerated. Like Mr. Wonderful was just chopping him up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I
that was
gotta
right
follow
before
this.
us. Yeah.
And then we got out there, and like I was comfortable just in the moment, just because like I had watched Shark Tank so much, but
Right.
I knew the numbers. I was like had a purpose. We were being authentic. Like I feel like that would translate.
You weren't trying to be something you're
No,
not.
yeah, it
like
wasn't-
this is who we are.
Yeah.
And you're,
And I wasn't using this platform like Cuban has a good sense of it. Like you can't use this platform for like an ulterior motive. Like you just want to push the brand, or you just want to use it for
people do
awareness.
use
Like-
it for exposure.
Oh,
and,
definitely,
You know,
and it is exactly that. But like,
If they find that you're being
Yeah,
disingenuous.
yeah. And Mark Cuban can
that
sniff
that
it out.
that
like,
but that
They
could just
pick that up quick.
oh, easily.
Yeah.
easily.
it'll come back to hurt you too, because then
Definitely.
they know it's like, okay, well, like you're trying to deceive these people and the viewers and the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah.
Why should I buy your service, product, whatever it is?
Yeah, you're already off to a bad start.
Yeah.
So like we knew how important the pitch was to get that down. We wanted to make it interactive, so we're like the Sharks came on stage because that would be great for television
So
and
all of it,
seeing like Cuban come up, and I'm like shorter soldier Mark Cuban, who's way taller in real life than I would have imagined.
Yeah, he
He's
looks tall. He looks like 6'3".
6'4",
Yeah, he looks at least
easy.
6'3".
Really?
I'm like,
I didn't
wow,
think of that.
he's tall. Just like having this like close proximity discussion was like, oh my god, like this is really happening.
Yeah.
Like my mom's gonna see this. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be on television. Like holy crap.
And there's so many of them that there's 5 of them. I'm
Right.
up there. And thank God it was 3 of us. We had Kev with us.
Yeah,
So we were like
yeah.
fielding questions. We had like, all right, Kev, take those. I'm going to take these. You're going to take those.
Right.
And luckily we were able to get, I don't know how single people get over it because they don't care about each other's questions.
Yeah.
This one will be in the middle of the question. Another one will just ask his question. And then you decide who you want to answer first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they look at
Yeah,
that.
and they
like,
take it
okay,
personally, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like who's more important, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
when those
like-
business skills come to play, though, because it is a real conversation that you guys are having.
Completely authentic, and they're very interested. And I remember like Daymond was there, and like Daymond wasn't saying anything.
He was quiet.
He, like didn't even get up to try on the shoe, and we are like, ooh, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we had Cuban and the other sharks participating, and then when everyone sat back down, we got grilled with questions like, well, what's your cost for the product? What is it landed? What is it FOB? And all these numbers, And I'm like, oh, I know all these numbers.
You're
already.
like, yep, just
Yeah, but like the most important thing is like the evaluation.
yeah,
Like if you don't have a evaluation that's like embedded in reality,
yeah,
they're going to eviscerate you.
Yeah.
Because like you're not.
Any
Like,
investor.
yeah. It's just like not a good like initial.
It's also kind of like what because it's like, is it realistic? Is it like, in a way you're talking about that company, that entity where you're like, okay, like this is what I think it's worth, but it's not like because I feel it's worth this. It's because it's based off of real numbers and facts.
Yeah.
And so they know, okay, like this person knows how to do an evaluation and they can take you seriously.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And like I still see when I watch a show and I see someone come up here with like a complete nonsense evaluation, I'm like, oh my god. You're already like the sharks are already gonna be working towards against you, trying to poke holes in evaluation,
Right.
Instead of being like, oh, okay, I support it, and let's move on.
Yeah.
Like that should be just a minor detail of the entire pitch, but instead, if you do it wrong,
Yeah.
it'll end up like
They'll
imploding.
exemplify that and then
Yeah, and then you're cooked. And
So-
the whole time you're trying to.
I watched the episode back, right? And it almost seems like as you're watching it, it's like it looks like you're not gonna get a deal. It like because people start backing out.
Yeah.
You know,
Cuts
you
the
one
break.
shark down, two shark down, cuts the break,
Yeah.
and then they build the tension, and then like another shark, and then obviously you guys end up with
I mean, it
Daymond,
very
and-
much felt that way.
and that was
Yeah.
what
How
you
you
guys
felt is how we were
How we
feeling.
felt,
out there,
yeah.
yeah, you guys obviously you guys lived through it. So how was just that like? What was going through your minds at that moment in time, right? Like obviously you guys are like, did you guys at every point in time in that like the tank think like shit, like 3 of them are down, like we're just like it's not gonna happen, like that any point in time that like self doubt creep in and you were like,
Yeah.
you know what,
I mean,
we're gonna go home
ultimately-
out of here with no deal or
Yeah. Well, we pinged the 2 sharks. We wanted Lori and Daymond.
Right.
Because like Mr. Wonderful is like very hesitant to get involved with company with SKUs, right?
Yeah.
So Cubans, tech, and then we had Hershevek, which is like cybersecurity tech.
Yep.
So we're like, our most profitable, our highest percentage of getting a deal
yes,
would be
yeah.
with Daymond and Lori. And when we had them feuding over the deal, it was
we're
like
so close to getting both, man.
yeah,
Right.
that would have like a dream case scenario for us. But like then ultimately, like Daymond offered equal partnership, like a third, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, we can't really do it because we knew the math where we were like, oh, we can't afford it.
I think you guys did what, like 30%?
we did 25.
25, yeah.
25, yeah. Because he countered with a third.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
we came to
You guys settled on 25 for
200.
200.
Yeah.
And really, the after story of that is kind of interesting too, right? I mean, again, you guys
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit on the Deer Deck podcast with, that's still something that
Oh, yeah.
isn't solidified, really. It's something that, like,
It's a work in progress.
Right.
But like he's very much involved. And it was just like an ultimate like dream case scenario because he's right in New York. At that time, like when I said
Right.
on the show, like, "Hey, I've been in your office," like
Yeah.
because at that point,
Yeah.
like a couple, I was literally in there.
Daymond took us to his office those 5 years before, like we were telling you.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of all
Yeah,
this.
we were in the war.
He
room.
doesn't remember, but you guys
I
remember.
remember. Yeah, man. So like, you know, having this like symbiotic like situation, and we knew the same people, I think gave him comfortability.
Yeah.
And then like going to the office like for real and being invited there by him was just like, oh my god, like that's so crazy. Like,
So you guys sat down or whatever, but like, so
Yeah.
realistically though, even post Shark Tank, obviously the exposure, the success, you guys have sold out. Like things are crazy. You guys have new shoes coming out. Like it's
Yeah.
there's it's still I guess it's like, because that's still a work in progress though. It's kind of like it's still, I don't want to say just you guys, but it's, you know, it's really like what was that either support system or what was that like things like how involved was he or the team or the company or like just that support money or networks or whatever, like how was that aftermath post show?
yeah. Well, I mean, he stayed committed to like wanting to license.
Okay.
And that's something that like I think after like a certain amount of time is becoming increasingly interesting to us. But we want to make sure we're protected through a patent, which is still in pending status, and we have a really significant probability of getting that granted. But we certainly like don't want to like walk into a lion's den and then just like get crushed.
Yeah.
Like ultimately that can happen regardless because we're in the market.
Yeah.
But we also want to make sure like the brand that is going to acquire us or collaborate with us like shares the same vision.
Yeah.
We don't want to be absorbed in a product line. We want to still have like creative control over it.
Be able to do stuff in future projects.
Yeah,
or
this is
whatever.
our baby. But like, you know, to answer your question about like the aftermath, like we had to build a company like
Yeah.
overnight seemingly.
Yeah.
Because
In the middle of COVID.
yeah, and no one prepares you
In the
for
middle of
that.
COVID, you guys sold out, and then
Yeah.
there was probably still people that wanted to buy.
Yeah, well, we converted
shoes.
to pre-order, and then we tried to like fast track production and pay extra to have things air freighted, and like we
You guys had like accelerated growth, like it was overnight.
Oh,
It was
dude.
like
Yeah.
business was like this, and it's just like
Yeah.
it didn't even double, triple, quadruple. It was like it just.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're
took
talking.
off
We're talking global.
to the
Like
moon.
people bought
Yeah.
your shoes all over
Yeah,
the
yeah,
world.
to the
Yeah,
moon.
and you know what it's like to be like waiting for that moment so long, so many years building that, and then
Jeez.
to be to a point where we're like, God, we have to stop this. We have to
Yeah.
shut the
Yeah.
shut the funnel off. And
Yeah.
we even though we didn't want to, like we had to do it because
There's only so much. you can
Because
do.
then that leads to consequences, and that like, you know, becomes an issue. And but in a way, like that's a good problem because we're talking
Yeah.
about like it's like, okay, if you go to a restaurant and you like their food, you eat the product, or you've heard good things about that food, and so, you know, let's just say they are busy. It comes down to the consumer too, because, you know, there's people who are patient and there are people who are gonna, you know, wait, and they're gonna be fine with that because they get that like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what, like this happened, and so it's just there's physically no way for you guys to keep up. But then there's the other half of people who are just complete assholes, and they're like, you know,
they're used to Amazon, you know,
Karen,
like,
and,
Yeah.
yeah,
2 days
and it's
shipping
it's
and
like
all
I
that.
ordered my shoes today. This was supposed to
I
get here
know.
yesterday,
I
and like
know.
it's like
Excuse me, we're in the middle of a COVID.
Yeah, it's like-
pandemic.
And
like-
as the creators, all I want to do is get you your shoes.
Right.
Trust me.
Yeah.
it's like why would I not want to
What you-
deliver your shoes?
we're not
all I
sitting in
want.
a
But
in a
but
warehouse
to the point with the
full of
restaurant though is like there's people who are willing to wait it out, right? So if the service is slow, but you get the food, you're okay because
Yeah.
you know it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the food sucks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you waited, well then now you're in some real
Yeah.
shit.
Double whammy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
We really appreciate those people that did wait. I mean, these people waited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know.
And we air
But that's a
freighted.
good problem too,
Yeah.
though. Like what I was saying though, because it's like okay, like it's pretty much just now the problem isn't generating sales or trying to make money. The problem is keeping up with demand.
Yeah.
And it was a bittersweet feeling because, you know, we didn't want to have to shut off sales or, you know, or make these people wait. But at the same time, it was good to know that there were so many people that wanted the shoe
Right.
and that we felt validated. Okay, we made something that
America
actually
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Do you guys
that-
feel like you've made it?
No,
No?
I don't think we're there yet. You know, we've had mild success for sure. We know that we have a good product, but now it's about building that brand around that product. And
Right.
That's the
Further
next
building
mountain
the
to
company.
climb. Yeah.
Every time you think like you've hit in like a certain threshold, you're just like, "Ugh, there's so much like
There's so much more to do.
go."
I
But
know.
that's why it's so important to enjoy it as you go because like
The
if it was
journey.
like, I'm gonna be happy when I get here. It's always that target's always moving. So learn how to be happy while you're in this journey, and then when you get to the next spot, you know that'll be a way better journey than just waiting till you finally get to where you think you want to go because it's always moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
So that's where we are. We definitely hit a lot of goals that we have, but we have so much more goals that we want to hit, things that we want to accomplish. And it's really
I'm
just
happy
the
to help you
beginning.
guys too. We're gonna do some stuff together this
we
year.
are, man. Yeah, so more
We'll have Andy, we'll have Matt, we'll have
man.
Raph, everybody on the
Yeah,
team.
more-
I can't wait to like not that we're not doing big productions, but like obviously we just helped you out with the release of those
Yeah.
shoes for the video,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like just I'm excited for what's next.
Yeah.
I actually like those shoes are cool. You guys have a couple other colors too.
Yeah.
Are those available or can people buy them today? And like what's
Yes, finally. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Log onto our website, moves.co or .com.
So where can people find you?
So you can find us online exclusively. We're tapping into Nordstrom. We're looking at different retailers. We have a buyer now that's having discussions like for a few private stores across the East Coast. But moves.muvez.com. We have sizes 6 through 13 and 3 colorways.
Yes.
Tan, gray, and black.
Yes.
Nice.
But I don't want to leave this podcast without giving you props, man, because what you're building here, with you and your guys here, and
Yep.
it's just been awesome to see your journey and how far you've come too along the way. So like, we're hand in hand. We're gonna work a lot together, man.
I'm
And
growing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
great.
Big shout out.
Awesome, man. So and how much are the shoes again?
I believe they're 115 online right now.
115 online, but if you put in the code right here,
Yeah.
get some editing action.
What's the code?
we'll get-
We're gonna put it in. We're
We
gonna
got
add
20% off because
Yeah.
Allan's our brother. So.
Code sideways.
All right,
Yeah, there you go.
Code sideways, guys. 20% off the brand new Move shoes. These are 2023.
That's right.
Just
23% off. 23%.
23%.
There it is. There it is. It's gonna kill my bottom line, but I'll take it.
Oh man. All right, guys. Yeah, no. Thank you for coming on. I'd love to have you guys again in the future. There's so much to talk about. There's so many things that I still have questions about, but. You guys, again, can tune in to their socials, tune into their websites, purchase the shoes, use our code, get it 23% off. And that's it. You guys, anything else last you guys want to say?
That's it, man.
No, man, just keep the entrepreneur journey going, man. No
Yeah.
matter how hard it gets.
Yeah.
That's for all your viewers, for you guys who are listening. It's a troubling road, but if you're insane, in love of the project or the product you're trying to bring to market, don't let that don't let all the downfalls and the challenging times distract you from the goal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's completely worth it.
It's
you never
100% worth it. It's all worth it. At the end of the day, I've always said, if you knew it's going to take you 10 years to build this shoe company and take it to where you guys want to take it to versus the alternative of just not building it and working whatever jobs and
living
doing
with
whatever.
regret, yeah.
It's what's 10 years? And it could happen before, it could happen 20. I wouldn't have it any other way. So just daydreams over day jobs, guys. Peace.
There you go. I'm out.